Man, now I'm sweating even more. Thanks a lot, Bobby.
So yeah, my name is Keith Seymour, and started Seymour Cycle Works just kind of as a hobby and a way to kind of just work with my hands to create some things, and then eventually turn that passion of turning wrenches into building cars. And so swapped some motors and had some fast cars back in the day, and then I got married. Man, it got really muggy down here. So we have 3 boys and a 4th on the way, and wanted them to kind of grow up with that experience of turning wrenches, troubleshooting, and wanted to start a new project, but didn't have the garage space or the finances to do another car. So I started researching some of the old motorcycles. So I was trying to take my love of engines and cross that with bicycles, and looked into early motorcycles, which are basically bicycles with engines. And started doing some research in the history, and found out that there was a board track racer for Indian named Raymond Seymour. And so I was just trying to imagine what would have been like if he had kind of created his own line of bikes, and so built my first one and had a lot of fun doing that. And then for too long built another one. Now it's gotten to the point where I just enjoy meeting with a customer and seeing what their goals are. They want that vintage feel, but with that modern technology. I try to use a mixture of old and new parts. So the beauty of that is kind of the restorative nature of, just taking something that's old and making it something that someone's going to use again. And a lot of the bikes that I get on the raw form have just been sitting for so long. They're kind of, got the patina and the rust on them, and to kind of revive them into something that someone's gonna either appreciate through hanging on the wall and looking at every day, or actually taking it to car shows or bike shows, riding in parades, sharing them with their friends, family. And so from the get-go, to take something that's been old and sitting for so long, modify it to where we can run modern engines and still make it have that vintage feel. Just the really cool aspect of building it from start to finish. A lot of times people will start conversations like, how old is that? Or where did that come from? Or, where did you get that from? And just to strike up a conversation with a stranger over the common love or bond of old bikes is always a fun experience. But more so, I really love the creation aspect of it, and I feel like in some ways it helps me to come alive. And so I, as a pastor, kind of know the connection back to the spiritual things with that, where we're created in the image of God. And so when we experience that, it's not just because of humanity, it's because God has designed us to be creators just like Him.
So how old is this bike? Or how many miles on it?
I've only ridden this in a parade and at a car show. So maybe 2 miles. So I just finished it in May, and I'm still putting finishing touches on it. But I got it, for instance, it doesn't have rear brakes right now. So I haven't hooked those up, and it doesn't have the pedal side chain. And then I'll still put some finishing touches on the paint to make it look a little bit older. So this one I didn't build for someone specific. I built it just kind of as a one to keep for at least the time being. But it has significance because it's kind of the culmination of a lot of experiences, a lot of different dreams that I've had as far as the parts that I'd use, the engine that I used, how it would look, how it would feel. And so I actually named this bike. It's the first one I've named, and I named it Peggy Sue. Which is a combination of my grandmother's name and my mom's name, just because it's a very personal bike to me. Ultimately, I don't want something to take away from my true calling as a father. So for right now, I just see it as just a great thing that I can enjoy, and not have so much pressure to just crank out a whole bunch of mass-produced bikes. So yeah, I think the pleasure of working with people individually, I don't ever see that going away.